Oh, hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and to bring you another Kerbal Space Program video. And this time is finally time to actually do the first of my series of missions to the Kcalbeloh system. As in the last video, I sent the refueling station to Sarnas, largely in preparation for this, but now we're actually ready to start doing it. Actually kind of interesting, we're having a storm at the KSC right now. But, anyway, so let's get to this mission. Oh, so this mission, by the way, we are going to be going to Sera, the just like the first planet that you encounter going through the wormhole. And actually figured we take one of my nuclear powered space planes with us. And this one is one that I think I used in a couple of episodes, but it's basically, it's all the Mark II, like it's mostly stock parts, like the Mark II fuselage, the wing pieces, though these air brakes are from the OPT Spaceplanes mod, and these RCS thrusters I'm using are from the Mark II, the Mark IV Spaceplanes mod. And the jet engines themselves actually are from the KARE, which actually, by the way, is Kerbal. I think it's Kerbal Aircraft Reactor Experiment, and it basically adds these this assortment of nuclear-powered jet engines to into the game. And well, how it differs from the engines I've kind of started initially using in my series is these actually, I think, offer the one I'm using in this plane, the Base Lord, which is, I think, the most powerful engine in this mod, actually has better thrust to weight ratio than the Project Elu engines I've been using. And but actually by a pretty large margin. So this mod is actually kind of replaced near future aeronautics, at least the nuclear engines in this mod have. But there's actually a couple of other size variants, like these. There's these two, which are 1.25 meter diameter. This one is actually in the shape of a Mark II fuselage, and this one is the biggest at 2.5 meter diameter. And it also adds the bit of a variety of air intakes as well, which I believe these are the intakes I'm using in this plane. But other than that, it's mostly stock parts, and also have science equipment, and also a convertotron in this cargo bay, and also these are the larger drills, mining drills, but I scaled them down to 50% of their normal size with the tweak scale mod. and also a couple of science instruments that can't fit inside this cargo bay or on the outside here. And I have a couple of also these air intakes, so I don't know if they're actually entirely necessary. And also two medium thermal control systems in order to cool down the mining drills and the convertotron when this thing's actually refueling on the surface of a planet. And also a Clampotron senior docking port on the back. And also put in the inline Mark II Clampotron just to provide another point this thing can dock. So I guess without further ado, let's launch this plane, or just get it into orbit. Okay, now our space plane is in orbit, then let's launch our interplanetary ship that's going to actually take us to our destination. Okay, so for this craft, I've decided to actually change things up a little bit, and instead of actually keep using those light bulb nuclear engines that I've been using throughout my series, I've decided to give one of the engines from Kerbal Atomics a shot, largely just for the sake of kind of changing things up, just to kind of keep the series a little more interesting. And like, so these are they're the Emancipator engines, and I think they're the best that the mod has to offer. And these are a little interesting because they also, in addition to liquid hydrogen fuel, they also use in this enriched uranium, which kind of they use in addition to hydrogen. But like actually my space station, my refueling station that I sent to Sarnis actually has the ability to make that. And I also tested it that you can actually transfer. I can transfer the enriched uranium that thing makes into these engines. So like at first I thought, that you can't, like, these things have a limited lifespan, but turns out you actually can refuel them with with in situ resource utilization, which is actually makes these a lot more useful than I initially thought. So really this entire thing is basically all these fuel tanks are liquid hydrogen, because that's really in addition to that uranium, these are that's the only main fuel source that these engines use. And this is this lift stage is all hydrox fuel, which these engines use, which I'm using because it gives you a little bit more bang for your buck in terms of delta V than just standard liquid fuel and oxidizer engines. And basically we're just gonna launch this into Kerbin orbit. That's gonna rendezvous with our space plane, and it's going to serve to carry it to Sarnas in order to rendezvous with the refueling station, and then we'll go through the wormhole into the Kcalbeloh system. And we're now in orbit, so can let go of that stage. I guess I have had that's a little too much than needed. Hey, we are now docked. It's now time to leave Kerbin. Which actually shouldn't take all too long, because these engines are really quite powerful. Here, we forgot to enable cooling on my fuel tanks. This could be bad for we didn't have it enabled for more of the mission. So now it's time to set Sarnas as our target and do our typical transfer maneuver, which is pretty much, if you've seen any of my missions, going to any of the other planets. It's basically the same kind of procedure. First with a inclination change, then followed by the actual transfer itself. Well, looks like Slate is not in the ideal position for us for a gravity break, so I guess we're just going to go for an aero capture maneuver. One thing I don't really like about these engines is it seems like they have an excessive amount of gimbal. And it doesn't seem like I can change that in the settings at all. And it should be our transfer burn finished. Okay, now just a matter of adjusting our trajectory so we go just deep enough in the atmosphere of Sarnus that we slow down into an orbit, but we don't like end up like falling into the atmosphere like to the point where we can't we're gonna just crash into Sarnus. Okay, here's about the part where we get to see the cool re-entry effects once again. Okay, that proved to be a little more interesting than I expected, with the tendency for that thing to rotate like that while in the atmosphere, but I guess it's okay. We're finally fully refueled up again. And, now we can finally set on our actual mission. Just waiting till we actually get a distance away from our refueling ship. And so what I'm doing here is I'm setting this WH3141A is my target, and this is actually the wormhole that's going to take us to the Kcalbeloh system. And for those of you who haven't seen, actually haven't seen a wormhole in Kerbal Space Program, or I guess by any chance you haven't watched Bogue's Let's Play, or any other Let's Plays of the Kcalbeloh system, this is actually going to be a bit interesting. In order to actually use this wormhole, you just get a encounter with it, just as if you were to do a planet. Really, your goal is to actually fly through it by getting your periapsis. I believe it's below. I think in the case of this wormhole, it's 35,000 meters. Oh wait, I think actually we'll do... You still have to do one full orbit before we actually get our encounter. So there's gonna be our intersect. Yeah, it looks like I actually managed to get it going directly through the center of it, which actually gives, I think, the coolest effect when you're going through it. Not that we really need to be doing science at this point of our Let's Play, but I figure it might as well, just maybe to show off the science definitions. Okay, so there's our wormhole. I don't know how well it's gonna show up in the video. I was just maybe seeing if maybe we can't get science like from low above it. Oh, and this is what happens when you go through it. Basically get the shaky effect. Okay. Now here we are in the Kcalbeloh system. And actually, quite conveniently, it puts us in this highly elliptical orbit right down towards the planet Sera, which actually was where we were wanting to go this episode. And the star of the system is called Sunorc. Or if you spell it backwards, Kronos. And it's also another kind of interesting Easter egg about the Kcalbeloh system mod, is all the names actually are spelled backwards. Which is interesting. And I'm really only doing this just to see if there's any flavored text. Feel free to read that if you wish. And there's Sunorc. That's the Kcalbeloh black hole itself. And that's one of the. Those are two of the other planets in the system. And I don't know how well it shows up, but the Sera also has a ring system. But yet, it's actually a rocky planet. Like, I think it's sort of resembles Duna, but it also has lakes, which Duna doesn't have. Just lower our apoapsis. Feel free to read that if you want. Well, these all kind of seem to be the same as from high over Sera. So yeah, I think as far as where to land, thinking maybe near one of these lakes, but I actually read a comment. I think Bogue commented on one of my videos that they actually didn't get to go see the aurora on Sera. So I think I'll actually make it a goal. I don't know if it'll be in this episode, but maybe the next episode we might do a bit of exploring on Sera, and maybe we'll fly up there. But I guess we will undock our space plane. Yeah, I kind of want to land right maybe at the edge of that lake. Okay, here we go. With our descent. Oh, and by the way, this is the config. I think what you're seeing, the effect you're seeing here, this is from the config that has now been added to the Firefly mod for the Kcalbeloh system. Okay, we might have overshot where we wanted to land a little bit. But that doesn't mean we can't turn around once we've let off sufficient speed that we can turn without losing control. Okay, landing is gonna be a little bit interesting. And, I guess you'll see why in a little bit. Yeah, you might be starting to see some things appearing on the surface. So where I'm aiming is kind of more or less at like the edge of this water. Yeah, okay, they're starting to appear, yeah. So Sera has, like for ground scatter, it has all these, spires. They're kind of like spikes sticking out of the ground. And, well, the thing about this Parallax Continued mod I have installed is it has, colliders, so all these objects you can actually run into. Which, means landing's actually going to be a bit of a challenge. So really we're just looking for an area with no spikes. Well, for a decent stretch so we can actually land safely. And it looks like we might be safe here. Okay, that was a bit less sketchy than I was gonna expect. Okay, okay, I was afraid of this. Guess we landed a bit too hard and broke this part of the wing off. So I'm not gonna redo this landing. What I'm gonna do is I might have to use some cheats. So I guess I'm gonna just respawn myself where I landed. So I don't know, maybe I might just revert to a quick save and do this landing again, but I'm gonna spare you guys that. So just give me a minute. Okay, this time I actually managed to land without breaking any part of my plane on the second attempt. So just a quick save here. And I'm thinking maybe we taxi over towards... Okay, what the fuck? Okay, let's try that again. What I don't see any big rocks in this in my path, so I don't know why that busted off. But I turned on unbreakable joints and no crash damage, just so nothing, you don't break anything because of some stupid glitch that happens. Okay, I'm gonna slowly taxi over towards the water, and as I might time-lapse through this. Okay, I'm gonna park here. And I guess we'll, now we're on the surface of Sera, we could do a bit of science. Yeah, it's definitely a pretty interesting planet, this is. Well, the reason I'm retracting the landing gear is though my ladder isn't long enough for my Kerbals to board while landing gear is extended. And I guess before I end this video off, maybe I might take you through what a full like sunrise and sunset looks like. And there's also like these dust storms as well. And there we go. I feel like this is a good time to end this video off, just for the sake of keeping it short. But thank you all for watching. This has been me, Dusty Circuit here, with another Kerbal Space Program video, and my very first mission to the Kcalbeloh system. And if you liked what you saw, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to see my next video, just sure hit the bell for notifications. Peace out. Bye.